Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Now, guys, I have to go with Robert Whittaker. He's a friend. I trained him in the past. But I legitimately do think he beats Costa. It seems to me like Costa's lost his focus. Like, I don't know if he... Let's relook at his last fight. What did he do in his last fight? Let's get a refresher here. He fought Luke Rockhold. That was a very, back and forth battle. Luke Rockhold, has had a series of losses. He beat Luke Rockhold, but it wasn't his most impressive fight, let's just say. Before that, he lost to Marvin Vittori after not making weight. He had a horrible, I can't remember. He missed by a ridiculous amount. Vittori took the fight anyway, beat him. Before that, he lost to Israel Adesanya. He got KO'd in round 2. He got his legs trashed. And then he said, I drank a bottle of wine the night before. That's why I lost. That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous thing to say. Like, you're fighting for a world title fight. Why on earth would you be drinking a bottle of wine the night before? Totally ridiculous. Totally like okay, maybe he couldn't sleep and he had to down a bottle of wine. Well, that's because he's not confident he's going to win. His head games are not there. Guys, I'm picking Robert Whittaker for that fight. Okay, for Whittaker and Costa, I think Whittaker, I pick Whittaker. I think Whittaker's going to outbox him. I think Whittaker's going to have prepared more. I think Whittaker's going to make the weight easier. I think Costa, it seems to me, he's lost his focus. He had a win over Luke Rockhold. That was a barn burner back and forth fight. But that's after Luke is really, he's been beat several times. And let's go look at Luke's record here. Give me a second here. Okay, so his last win is against Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold is 16-6, excuse me. So Luke Rockhold has lost to Mike Perry in bare knuckle boxing, Paulo Costa, Nick Rodriguez in grappling. Okay, let's erase that one. That's just grappling. Jan Blachowicz, he got KO'd by Jan Blachowicz. He got KO'd by Yoel Romero. So that's what, four losses in a row. His last win was in 2017. Luke Rockhold's last win was in 2017. He fought bare knuckle and got stopped in round 2 in a minute 15. So the rounds are 3 minutes, if I remember correctly. So he lasted about 4 minutes and 15 seconds with Mike Perry. Think about that. Just before that, he lost to Paulo Costa in a barn burner, like in a really, it's a unanimous decision. But if you watch the fight, it was okay. I gave it to Costa too, but Luke did well in that fight. So I feel like Costa's really fallen off, and I'm really suspect about Costa because if you watch Costa, go back and watch Costa when he was on the Tough show, the Ultimate Fighter show. He was a grappler. He wasn't even a KO guy. He was like, all his fights, he was like fighting for takedowns, getting them just barely, exhausted by the end of the fight. We're talking about 2-round fights. And he was barely winning those fights. Barely. Let's go look at Luke Rockhold's, Paulo Costa's record here. Okay, he's 14-2. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Okay, jungle fight. Let me just see here. Okay, the Ultimate Fighter exhibition fight, win by submission round 2. Okay, like I told you guys, he was a submission guy. Okay. His second fight, he lost by split decision. Third fight, he won by doctor stoppage, round 1, 5 minutes. Okay, so I don't remember that fight, but the guy didn't get off the stool. Then he won by punches, round 1, 4:37. Okay, then he fought jungle fight. Sorry, that's face to face. Jungle fight. Rear naked choke. Okay, now jungle fight, Adriano knockout. Okay, and all of a sudden, 2016, he's a knockout artist. Knockout. 5 knockouts in a row. Then a decision win over Yoel Romero. That was a very close fight. Then he loses to Adesanya. On the show, on the Ultimate Fighter, he didn't have this vicious punching power. He didn't. He was like a sloppy grappler. He was barely making it through. And then all of a sudden, he becomes like this rocket machine. Every punch he throws is a KO punch. He's like devastating people with nonstop power. I remember when he fought Joe Riggs. Not Joe Riggs, excuse me. He fought... hold on, let me look it up real quick. Johnny Hendricks. When he fought Johnny Hendricks, man, he just crushed Johnny Hendricks. Just absolutely crushed him. Johnny Hendricks went up to 185, could barely handle Costa for 2 rounds. He barely made it 2 rounds. He made it a minute and a half in the second round. He knocked him out. Incredible. Mr. Shiz is in. Shout out to my man Robert Whittaker, former champ. Great representation of a martial artist. Never trash talks. Coach, do you believe after Paulo Costa lost to Izzy, his confidence dropped or something else? Question mark. He's not been the same. He's not been the same. He didn't perform well in that fight. He got his legs absolutely torched by Adesanya. Adesanya won basically a flawless victory. Adesanya just trashed his legs and then caught him with that hook, finished him with a combo. It was almost like a video game. Yeah, I don't think he's ever been the same since then.